means it's gone a bit floppy, hasn't it? Hi guys, and welcome back to the Cassie Project. So this week we are going to be doing the third episode of the Art Vacation Sketchbook. And yes, we're going to be filling it with summery, happy, joyful things. We're going to be drawing, painting, even doing some crafting. And I've even got Elfruit to help me with the last prompt, so do stick around till the end. So let's jump straight in. First prompt that we're going to be doing is, where could it lead to? Draw a sign. It could be a shop sign or a road sign. Where is it taking you? I decided that I wanted to create one of those signposts that's got like loads of different arrows on it pointing to different directions. I've seen one of these before when we travelled right to the bottom of England in a place called Land's End, and they've got one of those signs there, and I've got a photo of us standing next to it. I wonder if I could dig that up. I wanted to create one of those signposts, but I'm going to create it in a fantasy setting. Now, of course, I thought what would be perfect is using Star Wars. So this signpost is sat on the planet Tatooine, and it's going to be directing to different planets in the Star Wars universe. I just thought it would be super fun to bring in one of my interests onto this page. You could do it with any sort of film series that you really enjoy, or you could even do a book series. Now, I was struggling to decide whether I should do a Lord of the Rings inspired setting or a Star Wars setting, and I decided to go for this one because I thought drawing a sunset would be easier than drawing a landscape filled with trees and beauty. So I picked the easier option with this one, but I think it would be really fun to do a Lord of the Rings style one, pointing to Hobbiton and Isengard and Rivendell. It would just be so cool. Nerd alert! Nerd alert! Yes, I am a massive nerd. I don't care. I'm proud of it. So I did this entire painting using acrylic gouache, and now I'm adding all the different names onto these different signs like Alderaan and Mandalore, and it was just so much fun. It brought me so much joy to make this page, and now all I want to do is watch a Star Wars series or film. In fact, let me know in the comments, are you a Star Wars fan? And if so, what is your favourite Star Wars movie and what is your favourite Star Wars series? I personally have loved the Star Wars series that they've brought out over the last few years, including Mandalorian, of course, that is my number one, but also Andor and Obi-Wan Kenobi. Oh, so good. That was fun. I enjoyed that prompt. Okay, let's move on to the next prompt. Finish this drawing. Give the shop a sign, add items to the shop window and greenery to the outside. I am going to grab my brand new set of Artex acrylic markers. This set is enormous. It is the 120 colour anime brush tip acrylic marker set. Inside the box we get all these stickers, which is super handy for swatching, and look how many pens are in this box. We have got so many different colours, a beautiful range of yellows and blues and greens, and even a bunch of pinks and nude colours as well, which is awesome. I'm going to quickly give them a swatch on this card, and yes, they are as smooth and beautiful as ever. I absolutely love all the different skin tone colours that we've got in this set, and I'm going straight in with this very pale peachy colour for the wall of this building. You might be able to see that I have drawn in little plant pots and little hanging baskets all over this illustration of this shop, and that's because I'm going to be doing a plant shop. I absolutely adore plants. I love propagating plants and making my own little plant babies. It's so much fun, and my house looks like a rainforest. So I thought it would be perfect to create this little plant shop. I have got a massive interest in it, and my goodness, wouldn't it be fun to have your own plant shop? A whole space dedicated to plants and talk about plants all day. It would be so much fun. Oh, don't worry, I'm not going to open a plant shop instead of doing my art channel. But my goodness, it would be super fun. And I really enjoyed using my acrylic markers on this page to add lots of colour. And it was really nice because I had such a huge variety of greens to choose from this box. So I'm adding all those little leaves and plants to all these different pots. It's really nice using brush markers specifically for drawing in leaves and things because they naturally create a leaf shape when you push that brush nib onto the paper. It was also really handy using acrylic markers on this page because it would cover up any of the line work underneath that I didn't want to come through, like when I'd put the plants in front of the shop. I loved choosing the colour palette for this, so we've got those lovely peachy walls, but then we've got this gorgeous periwinkle door which stands out against the shop so nicely. Now finally, we've got to have a shop sign, so I've decided to call it Seedlings, and I am creating this neon sign effect by doing this calligraphy font. Then I have done a black line work, and then I went over it with this luminous yellow, and then I go over that again using my Jelly Roll white gel pen, and that just makes it look like it is lit up, and I think that just transformed this page. I just love how it's turned out. So the next prompt is summer doodles. Fill this page with doodles and illustrations that remind you of summer. For this type of prompt, I'd usually just do like a pattern of different doodles and illustrations, but this time I want to change it up a little bit. Instead, I'm going to create lots of frames, a bit like a gallery wall. So I have picked 3 summery colours, a lovely colour palette of orange, green and pink. It just reminds me of summer and gets me excited. And I'm going to create all these different shapes. We've got some squares, some rectangles, and even this arch-shaped frame as well. And I am going to add all the doodles inside these different frames. So first up, we've got this lovely ice cream. Again, I'm using my Artex markers to colour this in, and it covers up the alcohol markers perfectly. I add dots and dashes to give these illustrations a little bit of texture, and I'm even adding like a scalloped edge around this frame, which kind of breaks it all up a little bit and makes those frames look a little bit different. I wanted to pick a bunch of illustrations that remind me of summer, like the ice cream and the lemon slice and the pineapple, and I've even created this little sign that says sun, a bit like a neon sign. And then to change up that frame texture again, I'm adding lots of dots around it to make it a little bit different to all the others, and I think it gives a really nice contrast when we've got all these bright colours working together with the different frames, the different backgrounds, and of course the different colours on all the illustrations. I've even added a slightly different frame with this flip-flop illustration where I've created a little circle inside the corner of that frame. I thought it'd be quite nice to have these 3 pictures together where they've got the matching backgrounds, the matching frame, and they're all to do with the sea and the beach. I thought it'd look really nice, almost like you would have up in your home where you've got a gallery wall. You have some of those matching frames there. I love this cute little smiling sunshine, and I love how that vibrant pink works so nicely with the bright orange. So I think that one turned out really nicely. I just love the vibrancy of it and that lovely summer feeling that it has. The next prompt is a little bit more crafty. It says design a paper fan, create a pattern or paint a picture, cut along the lines and fold along the dash lines to make your own fan. I thought it'd be really nice to have an interactive prompt in this book, so you can create a lovely picture on this page and you can cut it out and turn it into a little paper fan. So I decided that I wanted to go in with this very bold illustration with this pattern of clouds and sunshines, and then I'm going to colour that in using my alcohol markers. I I'm adding lots of dots of a warm grey to these clouds, and then I'm adding lots of different yellow tones to the sunshines, so it kind of breaks up that page a little bit. It's not that same yellow throughout. You'll notice I've also used different edges for the sunshine, so some of them are just lines, some are little dashes, some are these curly whirly sunshines. I just thought it would just make it a little bit more interesting instead of the same picture repeated over and over again. And then I'm adding this lovely blue background, so we've got these blends of the different blues working together, and to blend them together I'm using this dotted dashed look. Now we've got a complete picture, I can then move this to my printer to create a colour copy. This means I don't have to cut it out of the book, and I can print as many fans off as I would like using this design. I'm going to cut out that square to make it nice and neat, and then I'll be using a paper folding tool to just add lots of those fold lines so that I can give it a concertina fold, which creates this fan shape. Now you can just fold the bottom of the fan to complete it, or if you've got a stapler you can just add a staple in there to keep it together, and there you have the little fan. Honestly, this is well needed at the minute, it's just so warm, but genuinely it's so fun to get interactive with these prompts. Now finally, let's bring Elfruit back. So you may have seen Elfruit before when I used her to fill in my Draw Your Own adventure book by Chloe Rose Art, and I actually turned her into an adorable little sticker, so I'm really excited to bring her back into my artwork again and add her to the Art Vacation sketchbook. Design an ice treat. Use your favourite fruits to make a delicious cooling summer ice lolly. It sounds delicious already, doesn't it? So I wanted to turn this ice lolly into Elfruit. So I'm creating this ice lolly shape and then giving it these massive elephant ears and this fantastic trunk. And I'm bringing in all those lovely elements that Elfruit has. I'm going to use my Artex markers once again for this, and I'm grabbing out all those colours that will match Elfruit. So we've got some pinks and we've got some warm grey tones. Now, if you haven't seen Elfruit before, she is actually my very first cuddly toy that I had when I was born. So she is actually 35 years old, which is insane. I love looking at this little cuddly toy because it's even got stitching where I've sewn her back together, and it's just so terrible and so adorable. I just love it so much. And wow, yeah, she's very special to me. It's actually really nice to have her as part of my art and my illustrations, and have her as a sticker in my shop, and have her as someone that you guys remember. It's just really nice to bring her into the Art Vacation sketchbook. So as you can see, I've worked with lots of dots and dashes to give it that lovely frosty texture, to make it look cold like an ice lolly. And you'll see that I'm using an interesting colour pick for those fruits. That's right, we've got blue strawberries and yellow blueberries. Now I did this because this is what Elfruit actually has on her pattern skirt and the inner ears. It's a very strange colour choice for the fruits, but I just thought it'd be really fun to add that onto this illustration anyway, because that's part of Elfruit. I just love how this one has turned out, and it really does remind me of Elfruit and looks like a refreshing ice lolly all at the same time. Let's finish off this episode by filling in all those thumbnails. So this is the contents page in this book, but it's also used to track all the different prompts that you have finished in this book. So in today's episode we did Where Should It Lead To, Finish This Drawing, Summer Doodles, Design a Paper Fan, and of course design an ice treat. We are getting so close to finishing this sketchbook, and I'm so excited to fill in this page. So there you go. I really hope that you enjoyed this episode and loved all the different prompts that I did this week. I hope it inspires you guys to have fun and enjoy creating. Do carry on watching some more episodes over here. I'll pop in a binge-worthy playlist for you to enjoy. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you soon. Bye.